Hey, my name is Kerwin Frost, and I love New York. I love the views, I love the sights, but most of all, I love starting my own business. And so I go to Shopify.com. There, you can start a business fairly easy and sell whatever you want. Shopify.
Into the interview with clown shoes on his feet. Wait, what? Kerwin is a man. He's going for the gold. He's gonna get the win. And this is Kerwin's show.
Are you ready? Hey, I'm Kerwin Frost. Welcome to the season premiere of Kerwin Frost Talk Season 2. Our next guest has paved the way for many. He is an icon. He is a gem. Please show him respect. His name is Mac DeMarco.
I'll take that, yeah. What we should let the people know.
No, this is the third time we're shooting this interview. The first time was the first day we met last year in February, January?
Probably about 1 year, maybe a little bit longer than a year.
December. It was December.
December 2019.
19.
Yeah.
And when doing that interview, I was very nervous because half of me wanted to talk to Mac, but selfishly, I just wanted to become his friend. And time passed, COVID happened, and we became very close, spoke every day. And the interview, it wasn't that great. It was...
I think it was a fine interview, but...
we both looked like hogs. I was very nervous. It was good. And then time went on.
Well, I noticed you never put it out.
I never, okay, yeah.
And then you were like, and I was like, okay, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And then we had the idea of doing a mystery science theater style silhouette commentary upon the interview and then releasing that. So it's kind of a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And then what happened with the commentary, Kerwin?
So again, me and Mac are now friends. Mac is my best friend. And we shot it, but we're almost too friendly because now we're watching this interview, kind of just making fun of each other, ourselves, and the interview itself. Mac hates watching his own interviews, so this was painful to do. We shot it in December, and then I watched it, and I didn't want everyone to be angry at me. So I said, you know what? Let's shoot it for the third time, but make it the first time. And this is the season premiere.
This is it, baby. This is it. Huh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, though, that commentary, though, here's the thing. Here's the reason that I liked that.
Yeah.
Is because when I first had met you, the first time you came here, I put on Interview Man and did the, well, yes, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I said the same things that I always say. Yeah. And then COVID happened for an entire year. And a lot of, I haven't been in that mode for a while. I also haven't had to, do any of that. I don't, it's not like I've put anything out or done any interviews. Yeah. So it gave me an opportunity to make fun of how much of an idiot I usually am in interviews, which I thought was refreshing for me, but maybe someday it'll be unearthed, but not today.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
But it is, look at us now, Kerwin. That day you came upon the house and you busted in the door. I didn't know who you were at the time. We had a nice interview. Yeah. Took a nice, very handsome, actually, photo by one of my little motorcycles in the backyard. Yeah, that was nice. And then you started FaceTiming me every day.
Every day.
And then I started FaceTiming you back.
Yeah.
And then here we are, a year later. Still on the same train.
In the same room.
You've been here. You did the telethon here. We've hung out in many different situations. We've worked on different things, different projects.
Made a Christmas album.
This is true. And now here we are, round 3.
This is round 3.
Yeah, it feels good.
Rounding it out. Mm-hmm. Going back and listening to your music for this interview, and I normally listen to your music a lot. Mm-hmm. I told you this before the interview. I feel like with most artists, you kind of like the old shit better. But as I've grown with your music, it kind of fits in every kind of phase that I go through. I grow with it.
Right.
It's almost the only thing that gets better in time besides wine, is something people would say. Do you feel like that about your music?
I mean, that's yeah. I think in some instances, I think there's that it's a classic thing. It's a classic thing when a band does a thing and everybody likes the thing, especially right off the jump, and then you're known for doing a certain thing.
Right.
And if you ever change it, some people like it, some people don't like it.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing in my situation was that I had already been doing a bunch of albums and a bunch of touring and a bunch of stuff for like maybe 5-6 years before anybody gave a shit at all.
Right.
So for me, it was just kind of like, wow, that's interesting that they liked that one. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, there's a couple albums in there that I think there's a lot of similarities. I was recording the same way. I was in similar locations. I mean, well, kind of. I mean, there's differences for me at least, but
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like to do it, and it changes for me, and it what I do. The music has changed, and sometimes it gets stripped back. Sometimes I try a different flavor. I try this, I try that, and people like it or they don't like it. And to be honest, at this point in my life, I really don't give a shit.
You shouldn't.
But people, it's cool, and it's nice to make things and be able to show them to people. That's great, and that's kind of the problem with the coronavirus. Makes me not want to do it at all, because there's no show and tell part.
Right. Yeah.
It's only
so it's like
live
you're just
streams.
making it. If you're putting it out, you're not really catching the.
It's half of the process is eliminated because it's potentially very deadly. So.
Well, normally there's this pattern of how you drop your albums, and normally it's like the project, then a year later it's the demos, then a year later it's the follow up.
Oh, man, there's usually maybe a year and a half, 2 years on there. We always had the thing where we would be on album cycle for way, way too long for some reason. I don't know why. But it was like I remember even with Salad Days, that record.
Yeah.
It charted when we put it out, and then it charted again like a year and a half later, and the touring just never stopped.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, I mean, it's cool, but it was also like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So we're kind of, we go on album, or maybe, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the album cycle's over, but we're just still on this touring cycle in a way where we're out there and like you see different, when you're playing in a band, you play at festivals all the time, you get to know people at music festivals and you see, you play this place, you go here in Europe and the States and Australia, whatever. You see the same bands that had an album out around the same time.
Right.
You become
You're all
homies.
coming up together.
But then when their album cycle finishes, they stop being at those backstages and you meet a new crew of people.
Yeah.
But what happened to us is so we'd go through the first set and then the second set and then we'd see the people from the first time again because they put out another record, but we'd be on the same fucking thing. Oh yeah, it's a blessing. It's cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tour a lot. It's weird. And now coronavirus, I don't tour anymore.
So
Do I like it? I don't know. Maybe. Is it better for me? Probably. But hey, I don't
Do
know.
you think you're gonna wait till the virus is over to drop new music?
Well, I've put out some stuff during the...
No, but like a project.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. The one thing I keep thinking about is like maybe this is an opportunity to make a record or some kind of project that wouldn't necessarily make sense live or like, couldn't be played live.
Yeah.
Because then no problem. You can't
No
do
problem,
it anyway.
Yeah, because you wouldn't do those songs live.
But I don't know. The whole thing, I've told you this before in our daily FaceTimes. I don't like the coronavirus is incredibly uninspiring.
Yeah.
It makes me feel at least like I need to do things that have a definite end.
Yeah.
That have a finish line.
Right.
So then I feel like I'm not just wasting away in my home, And to go out, that concept in the garage, like sitting down and being like, I'm going to be creative today.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried, and then it's like, what am I going to write about? Maybe like, being in my backyard for a year. Like it doesn't really, So, but I don't know. It's tough. A lot of fixing things, a lot of other hobbies.
Yeah.
Here we are.
The old COVID.
Yeah. Here it is. Although there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Vaccines.
Have you gotten the
I don't have it. No, I don't. I think I'm pretty far down on the priority list.
All right.
Probably you are as well. We're young men.
We are. My nanny got a vaccine.
Maybe because it's
Like
know
a
her
baby caretaker.
employment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I know some people that have had it. My friend Jamie did the Pfizer vaccination trials months ago.
What? That's like the
was
first runner-up.
The guinea pig.
Right.
Yeah.
And how's he doing?
It's great. And he wasn't sure. Here's the thing: how those things work, and it's very controlled. Some people get it. Some people get a placebo.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting. They don't tell you. But he felt some symptoms, especially after the booster shot, the second shot. So he's thinking they gave him the real deal.
Wow.
But I don't know. Who knows?
That's true.
Yeah.
When you dropped Rock and Roll Nightclub, you also released 2 in the same year.
What did it? What did
Yeah, it was. It was the same year. But I was wondering, because I've never asked you this. Like, did you have extra music, or was it to skip the sophomore curse?
Here's the thing with that was that Rock and Roll Nightclub, I made that record. I made it a long time before it came out.
Oh, okay.
So I made the like those songs. And I had put those ones up on the internet, just the like Elvis sounding, like, dirty, weird little, crusty sounding songs. I think it was like 5 of them or something. And there was actually an extra song on the Bandcamp online version that I put out that was called Korean Gatorade, 1966, I think.
Yeah.
Old inside joke from back in the day with some friends of mine. And what happened is I put that stuff on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Same way. Actually, it was a little different from how I did it because it was the first time that I wanted to use my real name, but I wanted to be Mac Smith because that was the name when I was born. It was Smith instead of DeMarco. Oh, okay. And I was a namesake, so it was the 4th. So I was going to be Mac Smith 4, which is a kind of little cyber. I'm glad I just went with my normal name after, But anyway, so that went up and people really liked it. And it started getting spread around and we started doing shows off that. And then the guy that runs my old label in New York found it somewhere. And it was weird because I've been doing music for a while, but I hadn't really had that much interest from labels and stuff. But he came, and then there were other people that were interested and stuff, and I talked to a bunch of people. But then so he grabbed it and he was like, "Okay, let's do this, kid." And I was like, "Okay." And he wanted it. I had some extra other songs that weren't the
final.
So what I did was I did those little radio interludes to make it the Elvis stuff, and then interludes to like a softer, more my sound. Like nobody knew that was like what I usually did though, because nobody gave a rat's ass who I was before that point. But then, so I think that had felt like I had had that for a while, and then 2, me and Kira moved into this other little apartment. I just did that in there. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't feel that close for me, but it probably. What the interesting thing for that I remember is we toured before 2 came out.
Yeah.
We already the manager and booking agent that I have now. Her name's Michelle.
Yeah.
We had her at that point too. She signed
Oh, wow.
me with we started working together with Rock and Roll Nightclub, and she was like, I was like, let's go on tour. I was like, I don't know, 21 or something. I was like, we got to go on tour. We got to go on. Let's do it. And she's like, well, is there anywhere, And I was like, we're gonna go for a long 2 months. 2 months in my Volvo around the States before 2 had come out.
And what was that like?
Well, it was like, no one was coming to the show. I mean, like, New York was an okay show. Like, maybe L.A., Chicago.
In the big cities, you would get like at least
like
half pack.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
But it was a long tour in my car. It was like, we had like no money.
Didn't you say you would shower at in the venues?
No, I never. Showering at the venues is a thing that I thought was very, very strange until recently. Okay. I always thought, I was like, that is so weird.
Yeah.
Like, why would... And I've talked to a lot of other people. My
They
friend
all
Kevin,
think it's weird?
They're like, yeah, this is weird. This is strange. And then you get to a point where it's literally the only chance you have to shower. Especially, if you've ever taken a tour bus on tour or something, it's like you have to... you got to do it. But anyway, what was I saying? No, we just wouldn't shower. It was like the car was disgusting. And I told my manager, she was like, is there anywhere in the States you want to go? And I toured the States many times up until that point.
Yeah.
I was like, Florida. I've never been to Florida. Let's go to Florida.
yeah.
And she was like, okay. And I was kind of like, well, what's the big deal? But I realize now nobody really goes down to Florida because you go down and then you have to go back up the same way. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it was cool. We played a lot of little towns in there and did the whole thing. But what I'm saying is it was a really long and arduous and not very well attended and blah, 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 blah. But then we got back up to New York, and the second album came out like right as we got to CMJ Festival, and then all of a sudden it was like, whoa! so yeah, it was kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, we still toured in my car for years after that, anyway.
Yeah.
But those were Volvo 740 wagon, 1992. My mother drove it for several years after. Actually, I'll tell you an interesting story about that car. Yeah, we're driving to Calgary, because I grew up in a town called Edmonton, Alberta. One Christmas, I went back to Edmonton, and my mother and I drove up to Calgary, which is where my little brother lives, or he was living at the time. He was in the ballet. Yeah. He lived there, and then he joined the Nevada Ballet later in Las Vegas. But we went to Calgary, had some Chinese food at his little apartment. We watched Scrooged. It's Bill Murray. I know you don't like Bill Murray very much.
I hate him.
Yeah. Can't agree on that one with you, I'm afraid. Yeah. But watched that, and then I think I was maybe jet lagged. I don't remember what year it was, but we came and we were driving back, and the car, as me and my mother cruising down the highway that connects the two cities, the hood, all of this white smoke starts pluming out of the hood, and I was like, oh great, and it's probably like minus 30 Celsius, minus 35 Celsius outside at the time. Pull over on the side of the road, don't know what to do. So my mom calls my dad, who I don't really ever see my dad. So this is a interesting story for me. But he comes out with his friend, maybe his friend's Randy or something, old Dusty, kind of mechanic guy. Like, yeah. And the fix that they did on the car that got us back to Edmonton was there was a leak in one of the coolant pipes. Yeah. So what was happening is that one of the coolant pipes broke because of the cold. Right. Coolant, that like green fluid, was leaking out onto the engine. Boom. Evaporating into a white cloud of smoke. So what Randy did, he snipped the tube in half, went and bought 2 of those highlighter pens from the gas station, and shoved them in both ends of the tube, and zip-tied them up. Boom! We made it home for dinner on time.
That's true.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Bill Murray because he's a thing.
I know exactly how you feel about him. I
hate him.
I understand. I like him.
Sometimes it's good to watch or hear things without like the backstory or what like the majority opinion is, right?
Yeah.
And when we're talking about Mac DeMarco, like kids have like had this like amazing thing of like just making it of like this is like a Mac DeMarco fan, and it's like the white kid with the like navy green jacket and like the fucking dad cap, and I hate that so much. Well, I think your fans really find a connection with you, and like even like following that style that you did, I think a lot of people will look at you and say, oh, well, I kind of want to be like that, where it's like carefree but intricate and like care about what they do. But then on another end, it like just takes away from the art when it becomes too big.
Yeah, but it's
what do you make of all of that?
That's the whole point of what since I've been doing it. I think that I was always repulsed by the exciting, sexy rock and roll man. And like the wow, holy crap, look at that. Oh my God. It's like, yeah. It's kind of whack.
And in that way, you created an entire.
Well, yeah, but I think my ethos that I've always tried to hold is kind of like exactly what you said. It's like, you can also do this.
Yeah.
You can do this. Yeah. You see me? What am I? I'm just some weird, dude from Canada that learned to play guitar like many other, people do when they're young. And I make these songs, and here I am. And, the thing that is a little weird is when, it's like, go do your thing. Yeah. When people do it like exactly the same, that's a bit weird. It's like, but I mean, that's fine. It's cool. It's, it's interesting to me that, it's like the conversation I've had with people for a long time, especially fans or younger musicians or whatever. It's like, the questions come in like, how do I get on a label? How do I do this? How do I build this? Like, I alongside of like, yeah, do it. Like an integral part of that statement is like, if you're having fun and if you enjoy it, do it. But forget about the, the like, label stuff, the getting, you know. And I don't even understand it anymore. It's not the same where like you want to send, you know, when I was a teenager, it was like, I got to send to these blogs because these blogs are cool and everybody will look at the blogs and then they will think that the music is good. Well, it doesn't, that system doesn't work anymore. Now it's like, who knows? Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know is it SoundCloud that still does it? Maybe, I don't know.
No.
Who knows? Anymore. I'm very confused by it all now. But I think, you know, it's the same way I think about, you know, now I have quite an intricate setup in here.
Yeah.
A lot of fancy stuff, a lot of old crappy stuff that I still use, but I'm still doing it by myself in here.
Yeah.
And I, you know,
Well, how'd you learn about everything? Just technical wise, like, this is the thing. It's like you kind of downplayed it and you're just like, anybody can do it. They can, yeah. But when it comes to like what you do, it's, you kind of created this entire like world of sound design. You produce it, you write. It's like, it's not, and you would probably like say, well, that's like what making music is actually like. But when you see what's out today, you realize like how rare that is and how much like you just don't.
Well, yeah, no, I
find
think
that
music today is different in a way where it's like, you know, it's a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I think for most stuff that, you know, becomes
the
incredibly
song's
popular.
written, you get the instrumental, but you do every intricate
The interesting thing for me is that concept of making it with like, you know, there's this person doing this and blah, 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 blah. There's like 19 people that wrote this one song or something. Yeah. It's like, that's always been a thing for decades, you know what I mean? But it was always very, very distant from the community or like the style of music that I know or was a part of or whatever. But now it's like the gap is pretty small.
Small,
you know
people who still do it
like tons of new indie artists are utilizing those kinds of services or whatever, which is fine. Like, I don't, you know, do whatever you want to do. But it's like, I think, I don't know. I think it's just, you know, there's plenty of kids too that do everything on there. I mean, with technology too, it's like you can get a laptop and you can make whatever the hell you want. You don't need anybody.
iPhone.
Like, it's you're all good to go. So it's like, it really just depends on what people's, I don't know, priorities are, their talents or whatever. It's like, you know, I don't know. I'm not necessarily good at anything. I can do a little bit of everything. Yeah. And when you jam it together,
it's a beautiful
and you get
dish.
something there.
Right.
But the thing that I like about it, and I think this is the thing that maybe gets lost a little bit more nowadays, is that perhaps I had an idea of what I wanted something to be.
Yeah.
But I can't get there because I'm not skilled enough or, you know, some plethora of different reasons. You know what I mean?
Do you bring someone in that situation?
No. What I like is I appreciate what what it is
and what it is.
This is what it is
and how rusted it is.
You know, Instead of, it's just it is what it is. You know, and I think that a big part of, you know, it's the part that like kind of freaks me out about somebody having like 40 people write their song or something. It's kind of like what is this? Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, it's fine, and a lot of people want to make a lot of money. That's great. You go right ahead. But for me, it's like, you know, I make this stuff because it's what comes out of me, and that's kind of what it is. And that's
but how'd you even find the time to just like learn how to use like everything? You know what I mean? And
it took a long time. I mean, you know, now even now, I don't really, you know.
And how did it start?
I had a friend a long time ago that, I played guitar. I did a lot of stuff.
Right.
But a friend of mine, Jeremy, he's passed away now, rest his soul. But he got me a little Fostex recorder. It's an 8-track, maybe 6 or 8-track recorder. VF80 Fostex Blue CD drive on the side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Clean.
And I mean, at that time it was like kind of it was the crossover of like people were starting to get the early MacBooks with GarageBand and stuff, but a lot of people my age still used like a little Porta Studio, they would call it, digital one or something, you know. So he got me that, and I started learning on that a little bit. I got a 4-track cassette recorder. I did this, I did that. And, you know, a lot of the music that I've loved over the years or that I'm interested in is, you know, you read about how the Beatles did it. You read about blah, 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 this and that, or, you know, whatever, all the different, or even, I don't know, just reading and learning. And but I think there was always a block somewhere in my mind where it's like, well, I'm not going to use the computer.
Yeah.
Because that's not, I want to do it the other way.
Yeah.
And then I, you know, just from forcing myself through that, now I know how to calibrate the tape machine, fix the blah, 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 use the preamp, use the compressor, blah, 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 you know. Just, I think it's like, there's no reason that I had to do it this way. I just wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like stupid to have these. I mean, it's. I think it's. I think it's tight.
It's fucking tight.
But you know, you do not need like an analog mixing console to make a record now. It's like there's, you know, you don't. And the thing is with that whole spectrum of thought too is like, I don't care if people make stuff on the computer. That's great.
Right.
Do your thing. If you make something, I don't care. You fucking, I don't know, record it on your phone. If you like it, then that's great. It doesn't matter how you made it. It matters what you came out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and the same with anything. Same with making music videos or movies or, you know, that doesn't matter. I don't know. Clothing, whatever. Do it yourself, man. You know what I mean, man? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's cool.
I'm going to ask you something a little left field. And I want you to, like, just answer it as honest as you can. When you came out the gates, it was so fresh. It was crisp. It was this new sound. We hadn't heard it before. But this was also during a time in music where everyone was kind of trying new things. It was that turn the page over moment. And not a lot of people have lasted that test of time. And indie is kind of disintegrated to an extent. I never looked at your music as indie. What is the meaning of that, right? It's independent.
Yeah. For me,
You're doing it yourself. Hold on. You're doing it yourself.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Right. That's what the meaning is. But I think what the wide perception of indie is, it's this hork and schmorg pussy music. And you know, you put in there, you put a in there. Respect to her and respect to them. People need that kind of music. The heathering over the fucking. You don't have to say anything. I don't. It's too close to home for you. But I know. But I'm just saying. You know, this is the wide perception. I, living in Harlem, got to have this fresh kind of intro to your music and was able to not tie it to these fucking people. Great people. Yeah. But I was able to just look at it for what it was. You know, beautiful music. It was game changing, and it takes you to this nice place of feeling like a child, a place of feeling like an adult who has no idea what they're doing, a place of depression. But you know, we're gonna talk about it. We don't need to go deep into it. We feel like shit. It's okay. How do you feel about indie music now? Comparatively,
I think, like I was saying, it's, you know, the gap between it has shrunk. So it's like it's not. I think it's still, you know, the ethos is still there, and it is interesting that you say, because, you know, independent music or indie rock or whatever. Yeah. It's not like a sound. Yeah. You know, but it's become a sound. Yeah. You know, like, oh, there's, you know, like somebody hears a song that has a guitar tone like mine on it. It's immediately.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's fuck. I'm sorry. I keep thinking about things to add on to this. Anthony Fantano, we fucking hate him. Okay, cool. He did this one video. Did Mac DeMarco kill indie? Ha ha ha. Clickbait. You click on it, but what he says in the video is that you kind of did it so well and with such a stamp that everyone's head kind of got fucked up on how to go about it. And now you hear a lot of Mac and everything. But it's like the most trickled, juiced. How can we copy and paste this?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. With respect to Anthony, he does his research. I like his stuff, you know.
But we hate him.
Jesus Christ. Respect. But I think here's the thing, the interesting thing for me, it almost is the same as people being like people, you know, I wear Vans a lot. Right. Or like people saying that I...
Right. Or like
It's like, wow, flannel, Mac DeMarco. It's like, I'm not the first fucking guy that wore goddamn flannel.
No.
Or Vans or any of the shit.
Right.
Or any of the music either. It's like, you know, the music that I make is specifically me, I'd like to think. Yes. But there's many, many places that I pull from. And even at the time, you know, it's like when I was first coming up, it was like I wasn't like coming out the gate as this like, woo. Right. You know, it's like plenty of, you know, I think especially at that time, it's like it could have been compared to like UMO was doing the thing at the same time, or like even Tame Impala or something, you know. So it's like it was a thing that was happening. I don't think, I was doing my brand of it, which
Right.
is cool, and I had a great
It was the
time
best
doing it.
brand of it.
Well, thank you, but I'm not sure everyone would agree with you on that. Look,
Right.
but
It wasn't Tame Impala.
Tame was killing it. These are all my homies too. It was
Right.
cool. It was like there was like, even though we're all from like wild, Tame's from Australia.
Yeah.
Like Ruben was living in Portland. I think maybe he's still there. I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
like, it was interesting to make a thing and then meet these people from all over the different places, and then we're it's
Right.
like, oh, okay, cool. Here we're here doing this similar thing, and I don't know. I mean, it's cool. It is. I think it's just easy, to say you hear a song with the chorus.
Right,
every time.
right.
Like Nirvana use chorus all the time. Come on. you know?
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, and I didn't even. I don't know.
Let me say these things. I just.
No, I'm just saying. But it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. Indie now versus indie then. I don't know. I just don't really know that much anymore. I'm not. I don't really keep up.
I don't think anyone knows.
Like, I don't keep up with contemporary music. I don't
Yeah.
try and find. I mean, if it comes my way, then that's
Right.
great. But it's like Kira, she's
Yeah.
listening to stuff,
She's
so
top
she'll
10.
show me stuff if she knows I'll like it or whatever. But I don't know. It's almost like what you were saying before with the. It's only cool till everybody knows about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have, I think just inherently I have that, in a weird way with experiencing new music or what. It's like I don't want to be told to like something.
Right.
I would prefer to enjoy something on my own terms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, now it kind of, when a new alternative indie artist comes out, what it feels like is like when you're at a festival and a random artist is playing on the stage and everyone's running to go check it out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a whole another weird,
Yeah.
just the way the internet has become, the way the music industry
Yeah.
has become, and artist puts out their first single and they're playing like a 5,000 person show. It's their first show. Like that's maybe not that big, but 1,000 cap, 500 cap.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but it's also like I feel like I learned a lot on the way, the 10 years up to that size of venue. Not 10 years, maybe 5 years or something, but
20.
yeah, on 20,
30 now.
40 years up to that,
What?
But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't know. People are making art. It's cool. Just as long as people are still doing that, I think we're okay.
Yeah, we're going to be fine.
It's tough though right now, Kerwin, with the Rona.
Yeah. When you think about fans, Mac, you have some of the sweetest fans.
Yeah.
I love how you interact with them. I love the fan club. What's it like having that kind of relationship with your supporters? Because I feel like they kind of understand you more than
Maybe.
the
I don't
average
know.
person.
The interesting. I've been thinking about this recently. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
Since on like a scale where people know who I am for at least like 9 years or
Yeah.
something. And there's been different waves of kids.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the interesting
we
thing
walk
to
through
me
them?
is the what?
What are the different waves? Like, do
Well, it's
think
like, kids that found out about me back then, or, it's almost like now there are kids that heard about the fandom a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and they're like a fan of that idea, and,
Yeah.
and it's like, there's different pockets, and there's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, but it's interesting though, because they really, no matter when they're from or how old they are or whatever, it's like they really,
Respect.
I've met a couple kids that are they're very like, this is my thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And they're, even though I don't see a lot of these people nowadays, I don't have social media, so I don't really, there's not a immediate interaction as much now, but if I see somebody in real life,
It's respect
cool.
on
Well,
site.
I mean, maybe, but it's also like, I don't know, there's a weird thing.
There's
It's
just
cool.
like, in terms of like, fans who would kill their idol. I feel like your fans are least likely to kill you, even though you've made the opportunity very open.
Nobody's trying to kill. I mean,
I know that's what I'm saying. No one's trying to kill you.
but that idea, though, I feel for people, especially like, I think, like, look at this.
I think
like,
about it all the
I don't-
time.
It's not like I get stalkers or anything but there are a lot of people out there that do. That kind of shit's pretty fucked up. you
Yeah.
know? But at the same time, I think it's just like, I don't know. I think there's another thing that I've kind of sculpted over the years where it's like, even if people are like, then it's like, please come in.
Yeah.
And find out exactly how
What you want.
boring I really am.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh. It's like, okay. And that comes all the way back to like, you can do it too.
You can do it too.
What am I? Nothing. You know, it doesn't really matter.
I love that perspective.
Yeah. I think there was a story, Robert Pattinson, a vampire actor.
Yeah?
Batman now. He had a stalker at one point, apparently. Maybe this is complete bullshit. I have no idea.
Right.
But, and she, you know, was obsessed with him for a long time. And then he just took her to dinner and bored the hell out of her, apparently. She was like, oh. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
there's not much to it.
it's a wild, you know. I think especially now with the internet and with, you know, the way that people consume things, it's easy to live in some kind of like, or like, you know, some kind of fantasy idea.
What are like some of the craziest, like unlikely fans that you've had? Because it seems like you have a lot of them.
You know where I always love getting what we call it recognized?
Yeah.
By TSA employees.
Oh,
Because
wow.
what are you having? What kind of day you having when you're going through the TSA check? The worst day of all time.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing. It's awful. Taking her whole bag apart.
Right.
But then every once in a while they're like, Mac? And I'm like,
Damn, that's tight.
cool.
Yeah. That's tight. But I mean like celebrity fans.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I had one time that guy, speaking of Batman,
Yeah.
I think that guy Cillian Murphy one year said that he liked my music. That was cool.
Yeah.
Maybe he even came to a show of ours in Manchester. I was like, wow, that guy was in Batman. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Never met the guy, but I'm sure he's a sweetheart. But yeah, I really don't know. I have no idea who likes my music.
But you're nice to them.
To who? Celebrities? I mean, I don't know very many celebrities.
I'm just trying to wheel it into this next topic.
Okay.
Logic. Don't say anything, okay? I got this. Logic, you met, right? You met Logic. And
Yeah, we did, yeah. Sweet guy.
yeah. Amazing. He's such a... You meet him and he's so nice that you almost forget he makes music because he's such a nice guy. And he has a Salad Days tattoo, Tori Moy tattoo, and Tame Impala, which like goes back to like, if I could just pull your music out of a box, that would be it. You know what I mean? Just please, like, stop comparing it to other shit. Great. Don't. It's fine.
I think that, well, it's like the trifecta, you know? It's like those are, all three of us
Right.
bands are very like gateway into this,
Yeah,
you know,
let's go watch him on the
world of
stage.
music, you know what I mean? For a lot of people, I think. And it's like, you know, that's chill. I don't know.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you being, and not even tied to the story, I would like off the record say you are the realest person I've met in this industry.
That's tight.
The nicest, like just most like selfless person. You help any way you can.
Yeah, I
One
hope
time
so.
you drove me to Tarzana to pick up a crib for Waffle,
Yeah.
my daughter. Came back to the Airbnb and then set it up yourself.
Built the crib.
Random day.
That was a fun drive, though, you know? It's nice to go to the suburbs every once in a while and be like, well, this is how they live out here, isn't it?
Huh? Yeah. My hairdresser, Ty, comes over to this studio, does my hair, brings her 5-year-old son, and you give him a guitar off the wall.
And I'll tell you, that guitar, I bought that guitar off my friend Oliver Barnes. I'm looking right down the lens here. Oliver, I'm sorry. I gave your guitar away. I hope you didn't want it back. I guess I bought it. I guess it was mine.
Yeah, but it went to a sweet little black boy who's now learning how to play the guitar for the first time. Mac is going to give him lessons for free, okay?
Lessons?
Now I'm just painting the picture of what kind of guy he is. He is just a selfless fucking, like, he's
Oh, and I got plenty of guitars. Look at this.
beautiful, beautiful human being, okay? So Mac meets this fan, Logic, right? And obviously he doesn't listen to his music, you know, because who does? You know, like Midwest people.
You're being spicy.
You don't co-sign anything I'm saying. These are all my opinions, okay? This is, and we haven't talked about this off the camera, what I'm about to say. But what I found in research, and this is what I imagine happened, okay? So you give Logic these 2 beautiful instrumentals, right? And you say, thank you for being a fan. Thank you for getting Salad Days tattooed. You're awesome. Thank you. And you give him these 2 beautiful, they could be Mac songs easily. And you trust him with them. You know, you say, here you go, have them. He goes and plays with those beats. And what he delivers is almost the most disgusting shit I've ever heard. Now, Mac doesn't collaborate with a lot of people. He says, here you go, little treat.
They're fine. It's all good.
The worst, I mean, these... You wonder why the guy doesn't collaborate with people. And then you hear these two fuggily disgusting songs. The guy went in there, put on his dad cap, his navy green jacket. He made a parody Mac DeMarco over real Mac DeMarco.
He's doing his thing.
The songs were terrible, Mac.
Here's the thing. Logic is a sweet, sweet man. He texted me only a couple days ago. This is a sweet, sweet man. I don't understand. You know, I hadn't really heard his music that much, and the way that we met was.
This is my opinion.
I think he posted a Instagram story. He was buying my record at Amoeba or something,
So
and I was like, "Oh,
sweet,
cool."
yeah.
And then we met at a festival, and we exchanged numbers, and we started talking a little bit, and I've been to a couple of his shows, and we played, the same festival several times. And he asked for some. I sent him a lot of stuff, but that's the stuff that sits on my hard drive. That
He was like, these will be the two fake Mac DeMarco songs produced by the real guy.
I had a bunch of stuff, and he was like, I want to, and he, also at the time, I think he was learning how to play piano. He's learning how to, sing,
How to
and he
sing like
wanted
you.
to do a different thing. Why not give him the stuff and let him try? I think it's beautiful. Come on.
Fuck that.
Okay. Jesus, Murphy.
Sorry, Mac.
He's a sweet
I know.
man.
He's probably an amazing person to be around, and that's how they get you.
No one asks.
Right.
No, that's how they get me. No one asks.
No,
Someone
no.
asks. I'm like, yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, luckily, the Logic is a sweetheart as well.
Yeah.
But nobody comes a knocking. People may
No.
think they do. Not around here. Yeah.
But then here comes Logic. Saladis. Mac, please give me the...
I don't even know if he had the tattoo at the time.
He got it after he stole.
I don't know. He didn't steal. I gave him to him. He even paid me for it.
It's not what the fans are saying, Mac. I'm going off the forums.
Ay, sí, ay, caramba.
Okay.
I mean, I don't collaborate that. It is
No, for that reason.
not for that.
Not for
that
that.
wasn't a collaboration. I just gave him something, and he
He did what he felt was right.
collaborating for me is like somebody comes in here
in.
and we write a song.
Yeah.
We do like the only time I would consider recently that I've like actually really like the one I did with Benny Sings.
Yeah.
Like that was from scratch.
Yeah, that was a
There's
good
no like
song.
nobody came in with a little beat or something or an idea. It was just like he came over, we'd never met, and he's like, from Amsterdam, and he was like, hello. I was like, nice to meet you. I liked his tunes, and
The new Juan
yeah, I mean that was also
Waters? Juan Waters. Rivers?
Waters.
Waters.
I like Juan Rivers though. Juan Rivers Waters.
Yeah, that's nice. That was a really good song.
That was but that's specific too though because me and Juan have known each other for a long time. We've been all over the world together on tour and stuff, and we're old friends. It was kind of interesting to be like, let's make a song together because we kind of hadn't at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that felt even more natural than with Benny because I didn't know Benny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, but that comes back to my other point of the way things are today with like the 9,000 songwriters and the blah 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 and the this and the that. It's kind of like because I have had opportunities in the past. I get emails every once in a while like, do you want to collaborate with this person? Do you want to do this? Once in a while. I don't. I think people know that I don't do it that much. So they don't ask very often. But or maybe nobody wants to. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. But the instances like with Juan, where it doesn't feel like a play date.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't feel like, it's just a very
Just happen
natural,
naturally.
and I already know this person, and I feel comfortable enough around Juan to like make stuff,
Music with him.
and it doesn't have to be like some like joke song or something.
Right.
That's the way it should be for me. I don't know.
Going back, a lot of people cover your music. During the telethon, Lil Yachty did On a Level.
Yes, I loved that.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was a good example of someone doing it right.
Yeah, it was a nice treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you started...
Also a sweetheart. that
He
guy.
is. He's another person. Yeah, a very real person.
He's a good guy.
A sweet guy. Yeah. That is a good guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
You asked him to do that, didn't you?
No.
No, he wanted to do it.
No, I called him on the phone. Well, with the whole telethon, George Floyd had gotten assassinated in front of our eyes. It was terrible. And, me and Aaron trying to figure out how to do something. and she was like, you should do an act like a telethon. That was her idea. The thing with us is we're kind of like, just, it's like scientists. It's just like when we come up with something, we have to follow through with it. And yeah, you were the first person I called. I was like, do you think I should do this? You gave it the cosign, and I was like, all right, well, if Mac thinks so. And Yachty was one of those people who immediately also said yes. Yeah. But he was saying he wanted to do covers, and you were the first person he had thought up of.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, the telethon turned out great, so there we go.
Yeah. And you also donated $5,000 to the Know Your Rights camp.
You're puffing me up over here. I don't need this. It's
you
okay.
also donated the dog mask.
Yes.
From another one.
Yep.
And you also donated the guitar you played at Madison Square Garden with to open up for the Strokes.
I'm not even going to correct you there. I like that.
I like that one. Just go with that one.
Madison Square. Okay. Yeah, sure.
It was Barclays Center.
No, let's keep it at Madison.
It was Madison.
Yeah.
That's
we
where it was.
sold
That's
out
where
MSG, man. That was a crazy night, man.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Like $20,000.
Yeah. Bella Hadid bought it.
MSG.
Bella Hadid bought your guitar.
Yeah. That's very sweet of her.
And how does that make you feel?
It's cool. I'm glad she is a fan. You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
I think I've seen her on the side of the stage once or twice at festivals.
She's a good person.
Yeah, I've never met her.
A real one.
That's cool. But yeah, I don't know. Guitars, masks, telethons.
You're just a very giving person. It's like Santa Claus.
Jesus.
You're just so magical.
I do what I can, man.
Yeah. Good guy.
Jesus, enough with this good guy.
Okay. It's true.
I'm a bad guy, like the Billie Eilish song.
Mac's record label. You
Yeah.
started a while back. Now you got the hats.
We started the label. I haven't really put anything out, but we got hats now. No, we did. I did my last record on there and the demos for that record, and my friend Tex Crick.
That's what I was gonna say. He's the first artist, and love the sound.
Yeah, he's coming out. We were listening to his test pressing on the stereo last night.
Yeah,
I love that record. It's it's like I think because when I signed or when I did that whole because it's like a distribution deal, blah 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 blah.
Right.
It's like. It's kind of a label, but it's not like the way that you would build a label from the bottom and then you...
Right.
It's more...
Well, it started just to kind of like own your shit fully.
Well, yeah, it's like more like an imprint or something, but it's like... But, it's a label, I guess, but yeah, no, but the thing with Tex is I really like that. He sent me that record quite a while ago, and he was like, this is my new record, and I was like, oh, this is really sick.
Yeah.
And I just liked it, and he had already finished it, and he was like, I want to get it mixed, I think. And I was like, well, I could try and help you out with the mix. No, because I mixed it, too, with him, which took a long, long time because my gear got some old stuff that kept blowing up and shit. But even that process was like, I tried to do it, and then I'm not a mix engineer. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But then I was like, I kind of like what you did in the first place, so maybe we can just tweak that and maybe put a little gravy on it or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's mostly what he did, but we got it all squared up, and now it's coming out, and it's very exciting. Yeah.
And I know he's been a homie for a long time, and you're bringing him on, but it's like it's your first person signed under the label. Have you thought about, is there a grandiose vision of like helping more artists just kind of like just put it out cleanly? Or like, just...
Well, I mean, that was...
goes
for
into
years
consideration,
before I started the label, the whole idea was like, it'd be nice to have this
honest label.
kind of thing that I could just, if... It's like not... It's like, if... I'm not going out to shows being like, hey, kid, like your sound.
Right.
I don't care. Maybe if I did see somebody at a show and I really liked it...
that did blow you away.
I haven't been to a show in a while, but I think it's more just like... like in Texas' example, it's like the circumstance was like he had a record, I really liked it, and chances are, look at this, we have a way to put it out.
Yeah.
We can put it on vinyl.
Yeah.
And that's cool, but I'm not like rushing to do anything really, and if anybody wants to do something with me, then that's great. But if not, then
there's a P.O. box though where you're taking admissions.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think people believe that my email is my email anymore because I just get spam in there.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not I'm not trying to like make a legendary label or anything.
No,
I just
no,
want,
no.
it's helpful to put stuff out.
The right way.
But I do like, I'll show you this here. But this, is there a,
Is it this?
my tape isn't here, I don't, maybe that's, no, that's not one. I was going to show you where I bit this logo from, but I think the tapes are maybe up in the top there, so.
Oh, that's true.
Only the nerds know. But yeah, I don't know. I like to, it's cool. I like the idea, I think, more over the coronavirus, and I did it before as well, with different little video projects or streaming projects, or like 2 weeks ago, for example, I was bouncing all of my old cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Stuff that I recorded years ago, like 10 years ago. And I still, that's kind of the beauty of the tape format, is that if the tapes don't get completely destroyed in like a fire or like something, or like a water damaged or something, then you can usually get the stuff back off of them.
Right.
But I like that, it ties into the label where it's like, I like the archival of things.
Yeah.
I
You get
like
physical.
Yeah, like this,
tapes.
most of the music I listen to nowadays is like these guys. I don't know anything about them. I kind of prefer to keep it that way. But it's people that go and they find old like new age cassettes or like weird, albums that were just either like library music or whatever else, or new like meditation sounds, or even just field recordings.
Yeah.
They find these cassettes because nobody wants to buy them,
Yeah.
but they know how to look for them, and then they upload them to YouTube. It's not like they're making money off of any of this stuff. They just, it's about the archival, and it's about having the page with all of these different tapes on it, or different old weird vinyls or whatever.
Right.
And like, maybe it's not even, it's not even like music that most people would probably fuck with.
No.
But it's, I personally do it quite a bit, but
You respect that, how it's logged in.
I also love the music too, yeah, but it
Yeah.
is, but yeah, how it's just there,
That's true.
It's beautiful. I don't know. I love these pants.
Thank you.
You know that I was deeply obsessed with Jim Morrison when I was in junior high school.
I didn't know that.
Nobody does.
But I know you liked Weezer.
I did like Weezer, but I think that I maybe fronted that I liked Weezer more than I actually did. But I love Weezer. I really
That's
do.
a vibe.
Reminds me of being a young man.
All right, you know what I'm going to ask you?
What?
Everyone's been waiting. Tell me about the first time you met King Cruel.
Actually, it's interesting. Archie is his name. I've always been a fan of his music, and I think he's a really cool guy. But we never met for years and years. We never met. I had friends that had gone on tour with him, and a lot of mutual whatever. But I think the way I found out about him, I used to be friends. Well, I'm still friends with him, but I used to see this guy a lot more. This guy Alex, who has a band called Dirty Beaches. Yeah. And he's quite a bit older than me. And when I was living in Vancouver, I found out about his music. We became friends on MySpace, and that's where we used to put our stuff. And I talked to him, and he was very inspiring for me, and the way he did his thing. And he ended up, his career kind of started taking off after that. And but he lived in Vancouver for a while, and we used to get together and drink coffees and eat cheeseburgers and stuff at the Master Chef Diner. That was the spot. But I remember King Cruel coming out, and it was like, oh, this is cool. And like he also loved Dirty Beaches. So I was like, oh man, I bet I could, this kid and I, maybe we would get along. Yeah. So I think King Cruel's maybe a little younger than I am, but not by a lot. But the first time we met was in FYF Festival in LA. This was maybe 4 years ago, maybe more. Can't remember. It's a while ago. Yeah. But we met. Backstage, and immediately it was one of those situations. I mean, I had been drinking a lot. He had also been drinking a lot, but it was like, I think mutually we were just
sometimes
like,
you meet someone
like,
and it's
like, let's hang out right now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But I think what you're asking, there was some point during the night where I'm pretty sure that I washed my hands in his pee stream.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you guys played swords.
I don't think we played swords. I think maybe I got a little bit in my mouth too.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's, if you can have an experience with, you meet someone and then pretty much straight off the,
off the bat, you fuck with each
you're
other.
Washing hands with.
Then it means something.
Yeah. Actually, that's an interesting tangent. You know who else was there that night? Ethan and Gila from H3H3.
Oh, come on, don't do this.
Wait. And yesterday I was watching their thing.
Stop, Matt.
No. And in their thing, they were showing videos of people in, I think, maybe I don't know, India or Africa or something, washing their hands in cow piss.
Wow.
It's like a huge thing on TikTok.
Where it's like healthy.
Apparently, I don't really know the benefits, but it's like a bunch of videos on TikTok of these cows standing there peeing, and cows pee a lot, and people are just, it's like a tap.
But you don't really know about like H3 and stuff. That just came up randomly on the Up Next on YouTube. Just randomly, right? You don't actually like watch that, right?
Love it. Love every moment.
You don't, but you don't, but you.
I love every moment of it.
But they just came up randomly on the YouTube. It's not something you know about.
I know about it. I know all about it. Yeah.
Well, you know, I can say I've known you for a year now and some change.
I guess so.
And the person I know is like a very, I wouldn't like, you know, we spoke about this the other day. It's like a PG rated Mac that I know now. Not maybe. Just like a very wholesome young man.
Now. I'm old.
Young
now.
man.
I'm old.
A wholesome young man.
Okay.
And throughout, you know, the come up years, we talk about health.
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Yeah.
You used to drink a lot.
I mean, up until very recently, yeah.
How it's well, in all seriousness, I'm just trying to think of how to ask about this because it's a very serious topic. It's just how was it making that transition, and what was like the final like moment of like the discipline of like, I'm just not gonna fuck with this anymore. Like,
well, I mean, who knows if I don't know if I don't fuck with. I mean,
Right.
I haven't had a drink in like a year.
yeah, which is
But we've
amazing.
also been in quarantine for about a year.
Yeah, but quarantine almost says go do this. You know what I mean? Go do
Well,
it.
for some people, for me, I'm very particular with my style of alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like I would be what people consider a binge alcoholic.
Yeah.
So I'm either not going in at all, or I'm going in at
going
like
to go all the way.
150 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, piss my pants kind of vibe.
Right.
Which is like, you know, it's not good for you.
No.
And I was like that for many, many, many years, and I was high functioning for a long time. But I knew, you know, it's interesting because where I'm from, everybody drinks a lot.
Yeah.
You know, people I grew up with, older people, like everybody drinks a lot and a lot and a lot. And it's always funny because I was always like, well, you know, I'd be like, yeah, like meth, heroin, like that shit's fucked up.
Right,
But
right.
like, booze is just fucked up for you. Like,
Yeah.
it'll fucking ruin your shit.
Yeah, because it's almost like 10 times more accessible. It's normalized. It's,
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a drink in a year. I feel good, I think.
Yeah.
Will I ever have a drink again? Probably.
Right.
But it's interesting because, you know, not doing it for a while and telling people, or like, you know, going to some, or
And
seeing
saying no.
someone and be like, oh, you want to have a beer or something? Not that really ever happens now anyway. But I'm like, oh, I actually haven't been drinking. And they're like, wow. And I'm kind of like it doesn't feel like.
You overcame something.
Not really, but
Yeah.
I think it's just because I haven't been in an instance that usually makes me want to like, let's party.
Let's
You know,
fucking
like
go.
I haven't been to a show.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a bar. I haven't done any of these things. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, the idea even before I like stopped drinking of
Right.
like me and Kira hanging out in the house is like, hey babe, think I'm gonna down like a 2-4 of Jameson right now. Like that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't want to do that anyway.
Yeah, no.
So, I don't know, but I think that, you know, I feel good. And
Like
also,
that's all it took was just not being in situations, do you think? Or like,
well, yeah, I mean, there's another part of it
for
where...
some people who just like, you know, you just can't. And it's
No, and that's it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, it's really, really hard. And I think
Yeah.
that if I was in different situations, it would be very, very hard for me.
Right.
Like, I wonder if the only tour that I've really ever done where I was, for the most part, sober was... Well, and I guess over the last couple of years, I don't really drink before we go on stage, but I'll drink on stage. But
Right.
when me and Kira did a solo tour through like the Bible Belt a couple of years ago, I didn't drink because I was driving the whole time, and you know, and we would get to the venue and I have to play, set up, pack down, and then drive to the hotel. So it was like, well, if I did, I think maybe 2 times on that tour, I had some drinks with these kids in Phoenix, maybe. But if I was gonna go drink, it'd already be like midnight,
Right.
because I'd have to get all the work shit done, and then
Yeah,
I could
and
go
then
do
you
it.
can. And then daddy can have some fun.
Yeah, but I mean, But it's interesting, the last couple months of touring before coronavirus happened, because we were out right until like shaboom,
Right.
Like, we came back from Hawaii, and then it was like everything is about to get canceled, and I was like, okay, great. But yeah, even those tours, it was kind of like I was drinking a lot, but it was like I had a more, I don't know. It's funny, like I was getting to a point on tour where I was like, I want to. It can feel very mechanical and very routine. You know what I mean? Where it's like either you're on a bus or you're flying every day, or you got the hotel and the blah 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 blah. And I didn't want to really do that anymore. And I was never really good at like, let's go out and like explore the town or whatever. I always had this weird what is it like
Like a hermit?
No, like a not a phobia, but a
Adventuring?
No, like what the I've lost it. I had this thing. Let's say I had this thing where it's like, well, I have to stay in the venue the whole time before we play, or else I need to feel the energy from the room.
Yeah. It's like taking in what you're about to do.
But I've been doing it for a long time, and you realize like
you don't actually need
the venues that kind of mattered, and now it's just kind of like giant empty box every time. So it's kind of like, this is stupid. But I was making an effort. I wanted to go out. I wanted to see this. I wanted to see the friends that I hadn't seen in years in these different cities all over the place, and experience this and do that, and then it all just kind of got capped up with the coronavirus. But
sounds like
But I would be interested to go back out again and see how it would be not drinking, really, because it's a huge part of the culture.
No, it super is, and I'm super proud of you for
like,
making
here's
it
the
through
music,
a year
and drinking's like right here, I think.
Yeah.
So
it's inevitable.
I don't know.
It's
What pisses me off though is that everybody says like, oh, you'll lose a ton of weight when you stop drinking, and I'm kind of like, excuse me.
No, you're still working.
I'm still I'm waiting. For this shit. But yeah.
Is it true?
It is wild though, Kerwin. Think about it. Our relationship. You walk in my door one day, I have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
And I talk to you every day.
Yeah.
I guess that's how it goes.
Yeah, that is how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's nice.
How would you say knowing me has impacted your life?
It's nice. It's nice because I think we got along pretty easily right off the bat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have varying interests. You're interested in a lot of things that I also am interested in. But you have even just what you do for, you clothing person, you meet, different, a lot of people. And it's interesting for me to step in there and kind of see what you see a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe you feel the same way about some things that I like too. But although we don't seem to agree on movies that I suggest you very often, do we?
No. Well, some of them are really good. What was it, Miracle Mile?
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
Yeah. You didn't like Brazil.
It's just too artsy for me. Me, when I sit down and watch a movie, I don't want to think about shit, okay? Yeah. I don't want to think about the director. Yeah. I don't want to think about these fucking shots. You're losing me with the story. I like, pull me in the story. Even if it's a big popular movie, I really like when you just get taken in and you get taken out. Mm-hmm. That's it. Don't do this.
Get dunked.
Yeah, don't place it a certain way.
Yeah. But I just think, I don't know. Yeah. I love meeting new people.
Yeah.
And understanding their world.
Yeah.
And you don't really get to do that either very much nowadays.
No, you don't.
Especially being off of the internet. It's just nice.
Yeah.
You guys are always up to something crazy over in New York City. Living it up, Big Apple style.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've lost a lot of people.
With coronavirus?
Yes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Just in general.
Without the virus, too?
No, with the virus, mostly.
Yeah.
During that period of time. Someone we did lose, Mac Miller. Could you tell me about your relationship with him?
That was before coronavirus.
Yeah, he was before. No, that's what I'm saying.
Malcolm. Yeah, he was a very, very sweet man.
What was it like when you guys met? I saw this photo of you two and Steve Lacy, which is like...
Yeah, we used to hang out at his house a lot. But it was interesting with Malcolm because it was like years ago, I think the first time I ever played a solo show, I played it with, it was me doing this like solo acoustic thing, and then I think it was Rubber Tracks or something. I'd be like, hey, it'd be pretty funny if we put Mac Miller and Mac DeMarco on the same bill. So he did his thing afterwards, but I didn't really meet him that night. And I think I almost even had a little formulate. I mean, maybe I said it in some interview at some point, like, yeah, fuck Mac Miller. Like, he's got, we have the same name. Like, that's right. All it was based off of. But I remember his friends came up one time. I think it was in Atlanta or somewhere, some festival at the hotel when everyone was leaving to the airport after the day after the festival. It was kind of like, hey, man, like, I know you kind of have beef, but, like, we just want to let you know that we're big fans. I was like, beef? Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh. But it was anyway, that's the preface. That's kind of, just funny. But I think we finally, like, actually met through Anderson .Paak because they were friends and they had done that Dang song together, I think, at that point. But we were in Buenos Aires in South America, in Argentina, for Lollapalooza down there, I think. We were all doing that, and it was one of those things where I think there was like a Brazil, maybe it wasn't in Brazil, but like a Chile one, Argentina one. It's moving traveling festival. We met him there, and yeah, we hung out with him that night with Anderson, and then the next night he was like, "You guys want to come to the studio?" We're like, "Yeah, sure." It was me and my bass player, my keyboard player. What we didn't know was the studio was like an hour and a half drive outside of town.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. It was like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But a beautiful studio, like big, beautiful place and like really nice studio. And they were all going to stay there. And then, 3 or 4 in the morning rolls around and we're kind of like, so we got to get back to our hotel because we have a flight in the morning. So we ended up going back. But I had his number. And then I think at one point, Matt Martians and Sid from the internet brought him over here. And then we chopped it up then, and then, then we were like, okay, we're living in LA together, and I started going to his house, because he was always working on music, and I would go and work on stuff with him there. He did a couple things with me in here. We just hung out, but with him, too, especially, it was like, we became very close very fast.
Yeah.
And he was like a very, again, though, it's like very different worlds.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But a real sweet guy, and we hung out all the time, and yeah, when he died, it was like really crazy. We were on tour and we were playing. He had called me the day before and he's like, hey, you want to be in this music video we're shooting on Monday? And I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah. So we were going to do that. But then we had to go to, we were playing in New York. We're playing in Central Park. And yeah, we found out that morning and it was just like, wow, this is so crazy. And then I flew back to LA for the wake. And then we flew back and did Red Rocks, and that Red Rock show is just an absolute mess. It was just awful. Yeah. But, God bless him. And it's cool that people remember him the way they do. Yeah. And, and it's cool because he had so much, it's like almost like Prince in a way where he had so much stuff on ice.
Yeah.
And it's like there's stuff,
he was always looking on how to
and his family's like totally, they take control. They're like very involved with the whole thing with that. I haven't heard from any of them in a while, but yeah, it's really sad. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like, with that kind of shit, it's like with the drugs and it's like, it's just not sketchy.
Yeah.
Doing drugs like that is sketchy. Not to say that I haven't indulged hundreds of times, but it's just like, it's not a good idea.
Yeah, no.
But I don't know. God bless him.
Yeah, God bless him.
Yeah. Let's pick the vibe up. God bless Malcolm. Good memories, There we go. Yeah. Did you ever meet him?
I've never met him, no. But he seemed like a really awesome guy.
Oh, he's really cool. Funny as fuck, that guy, I tell you.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
When he came out the gates, and you were doing the shows, you're a really amazing showsman. And you would find like amazing ways to just make the show fun or just like kind of do things differently, Watching that when I was younger, it was amazing and sick, and it was cool because you kind of got to like, during that time, people were just like down for whatever. It was crazy. But with that, came a lot of like, people just expecting this all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it was that for
yeah
a long time. I mean, it still kind of is sometimes, but
How does it make you feel, or like how do you go back and look at it? Or
I had a great time. We
Yeah.
had a lot of fun on tour. It's interesting because I think especially when we started doing it, it kind of just mattered. You know, we'd play all the songs really fast. We'd just play as hard as we could. You know, everyone was doing like, you know, crazy moves on stage and crowd surfing. And I used to do trust falls a lot, which were, I think I would crush. Well, I mean, I probably crushed them back then too. But but I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fun. It's cool, and I like, you know, it's an easy. I don't know if it's easy. I don't know. There was just an energy. Here's like the thing is like I wasn't necessarily doing it as on, you know,
it
to
wasn't
be,
specifically
like,
to
check this out. It was
Yeah.
like the crowd was the one that they were the ones that
giving
were
that
like,
energy.
yeah, you know, and it's like, all right. And sometimes there still are shows that are like that, but it, you know, things change and my music's changed and the way I think
it wasn't for an exact reason. It was just a vibe of the crowd.
well, I mean, I had been doing that. I think my shows in general, even before people gave a shit about me, were like, I would crowd surf every time I could. I
Yeah.
loved to crowd
a
surf.
classic.
I loved to, you know, do crazy things on stage, do the whole thing. And,
Yeah.
and when the crowds really want it, then.
Gotta give it to him.
But it's just like an energy, you know, and that's like. But what I was just saying is, it goes away. If venues get bigger, crowds get further away. You're staring at the back of some bouncer guy's head.
Yeah.
You know, but I still, you know, I think over the course of the coronavirus, 'cause there were a couple shows that we did on the last round of touring that were in like ridiculously huge places, you know, like it's, and places maybe even too big for us, like, you know, trying to fill like a 15,000 person venue or something, like
Yeah.
that's not, especially with my last record, like it's not going down like that, you know.
Wait,
It's
what
like,
do you mean with the last record?
it's not even that kind of music. It doesn't
Right,
make
yeah,
sense,
yeah.
you know. It's like it's very like quiet, small sound, you know. Yeah, let's play essentially like a pavilion or a stadium. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what I was saying is over the course of the virus, I think I'd like to kind of, you know, do smaller stuff again.
The XX once, they did 50 shows in New York. I think it was like in this 50 crowded room, like you could fit 50 people in there, and they did it for like 10 days.
Yeah.
Would you ever do something like that?
We've done little residencies before, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done a couple here, done them in
They did it like every day.
yeah, here's the thing with doing something like that. In a city like New York, it can make sense.
Yeah.
Like we've done it there before, where it's like, okay, we'll do one in Brooklyn, one in Queens, one in the city, one in like a, you know, weirder part of Brooklyn or something, you know.
Yeah.
But and it makes sense because New York's like one of the biggest cities on the planet, and you can move around, and other people will come to the different shows, you know. What I mean? But I don't know. I always, whenever you play the same place twice, there's something about. Like, there's been plenty of times we've done, like, the same venue 4 days in a row, or, like, 3 days in a row, or whatever, or even 2 nights in a row. It feels like you go out the second night, and you're like, what's up? Like, I'm going to try and make this not like last night.
Right,
You know, but it always kind of feels like... And then it's always like, well, which one out of the 3 was the best, you know? And it's like, I don't... It's a weird vibe. But I don't mind it. I just think, you know... Still, you know... I just think smaller venues, taking our time, like the way I used to tour back in the day, where it was like, yeah, we got time to go swim in this lake that we're driving by for 2 hours right now. Like, why not?
Yeah.
You know, I don't really like flying. I don't really like, you know, we've taken tour buses a couple times now, and I know that I always was like, fuck that, I'll never take a fucking tour bus.
Yeah.
We've taken them a couple times, and in some instances, it's cool. I really like the fact that your stuff, it's like you have a little bedroom. It stays in the same place. That,
You
for
get
me,
the curtain.
yeah, it's great, but it's also, I don't, you know, some places I like it, other places I don't, but,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I think just taking it easy, doing nice little shows, intimate, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably do some bigger stuff again, maybe, who knows, I don't. I'd take anything at this point, to tell you the truth, you know. I'm starved.
Starved.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, still, even today, it's like, you know, I'll crowd surf sometimes now, or you know, we'll do something or play a really old song. Just really depends on the vibe. If they don't want it, though, then whatever. So there's some instances now where I feel like, oh, this show's not going so good. I know what'll save it. I'll crowd surf, and it's usually not a good idea. But it usually does save it. Because that's the whole thing. I realized a long time ago is, you know, people are kind of like goldfish at shows. You know, it's like the attention span's only for like the last 2 songs. If you do a whole bunch of insane shit and like play a whole bunch of guitar solos and do all this insane crap, and you know, the stage is like wrecked, and then you leave, everyone's like, holy what did I just see?
Watch, yeah.
They forget about the like 30 other songs before that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, not always, but I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I love playing shows. Yeah. But my favorite format is when I do it alone, or it has been. It's like just going up there with an acoustic guitar and playing all the songs that I can do alone. I like that because it's like you talk to the people. Obviously, like, you know, I'll try and play like, you know, seated venues. Feels very adult in a way.
Like like a Radio City?
No, Radio City would be a little too big for me solo, I think. But we did do that with the band. It's kind of weird. But
oh, I meant because the seating.
Yeah, but smaller, like little
Right.
churches or like little theaters or whatever. You know, like places where there couldn't be a mosh pit because you know. But I like that kind of vibe. But the thing is though, if a band show goes poorly, it's kind of like shit. But if a solo show goes poorly, it's like, oh, my soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's just you.
Yeah, and it's just like that.
Can't blame anyone else.
Well, no, it's not even about blaming. It's just kind of like, there's not a lot of, it's hard to save it. You know?
Right,
like, and
right.
it's things like if the sound is bad or if this happens or if that happens, it's just like, shit. You know?
Yeah.
It's not super loud. You can't just kind of hide behind the PA, whatever, you know. I don't know. But I miss shows.
And something you've become more obsessed with lately has been rare sneakers.
Yes.
You love rare sneakers, and just tell me more about that, because I always see you in maybe a Jordan 85 one retro.
I have
or
40 pairs.
Air Max 92.
Yeah, 50 pairs of those.
Maybe an Adidas Superstar here and there.
Yep. I love those.
Tell me about your obsession with sneakers and just where it started.
It's just such a beautiful art form. You think about it in the way where people, you know, it not only is it art,
right?
It's utilitarian.
Yeah.
Which to me is meaningful in the sense that
it's like a box of chocolates almost.
You know, it's to be used.
Yeah.
But often it's so beautiful that you use it quite infrequently.
Yeah.
Because you want to preserve that beauty.
That makes sense. And that's why a lot of people like them.
Indeed.
So it's cool. I love that connection with you and rare sneakers. And I know anytime you do a really killer show, you sign a pair and give it to the smallest kid in the crowd.
Exactly.
And I love that you do that.
Yes. I say someday you'll grow into these.
Exactly, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's so cool that you do that.
Yeah.
Especially for the handicapped kids. You go for those, mainly.
It's just the smallest kid, that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If there's a baby at the show, they're getting the shoes. Humans can't get much smaller than that.
Yeah. So, just inspiration.
Nikes, Adidas, Puma. Is that offensive? People like that in the sneaker community? Pumas?
No, people. Yeah, I don't know. Puma's not really up.
Okay,
Puma's kind of next.
Scratch that. What else do they like?
They're not selling. No.
Converse.
We talked about the Converse shoe.
Adidas.
You like the Converse shoe?
Which one?
The Converse.
The one.
Yeah.
I like them. It's hard. I think I can't wear them. I
can't wear those. Well,
but when they look good on a person, it really looks good.
They really look good, yeah. But on most people, they just
doesn't work for me. I always loved that George Harrison wore them when they were recording Let It Be. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You like the Beatles a lot.
I love the Beatles, yeah. Truly do.
Yeah.
They were all sneakerheads, too.
The Beatles?
Yeah.
That's what people would always remember them for.
Yeah.
The White Album, they were wearing the white...
Jordans.
The white Jordans.
Yeah.
And then the Black Album, they were wearing black Superstars, Adidas Superstars.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was something I love that you tie that into your music.
It was groundbreaking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. People are always showing me old photos of John Lennon wearing just old sneakers.
Yeah, all those photos of him at the line at the launch or whatever.
And when he would go to the basketball games, front row.
Yep. Him and Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, they would pull up together, but they wouldn't really talk publicly.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah. It's...
Sneaker culture, what can you say?
Sneaker culture. Frank Sinatra?
Huge collection of sneakers. Yeah, there he is right there.
Right there. And I think he's wearing retro Air Jordans.
Yeah.
Fully.
He did it his way.
Exactly.
he would wear mismatched laces, and everybody would go, hey, "What are you doing, Frank?" And I'm doing it my way.
So the legend goes.
Yeah, and that's how he made the song, right?
This is so twisted. That would be crazy to see Frank Sinatra in a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
It'd be so strange.
Yeah, it would. Well, Frank loved to try new things every time the records would stop selling.
Yes, true.
So that was his sneaker sneaker obsession era.
Yeah.
He was like, "What I got to do, Quincy?" He was like, "Put on the sneakers."
It'd be kind of interesting if humans lived like maybe just 200 years instead of 100, if you're lucky. To see, and these artists that just their careers, instead of like he had a 50-year career, he had like a 150-year career.
Yeah.
And like how many phases, how many different vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if Frank Sinatra was singing over like trap beats right now.
Or even if he made it to the 90s and was doing grunge.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, Frank.
Rest in peace, yeah. The boss. The chairman of the board.
Yes.
Love it. I do love it.
Back then, we had the Rat Pack. It was Frank, Dean, Sammy Davis. And now we have the new Rat Pack, which is
BTS.
you, Kevin Parker,
Blackpink.
MGMT, Tori Moy.
I don't know about that.
Twisted.
Twist it?
You guys are just
Who would be
twisted.
the new Rat Pack?
Yeah, who would be the new Rat Pack?
Migos.
Migos, Megan Thee Stallion, Mac DeMarco. I would like to see you boxing with these artists more in 2021.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. None of that Folgers shit.
Folgers.
Yeah, coffee
The
music.
best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
True.
Wayne Gretzky did a Folgers commercial once upon a time. You know who Wayne Gretzky is?
He's a basketball player, right?
Nope.
Football player?
Nope.
Hockey.
Yeah. He was the
Boston.
greatest of all time.
I've heard his name a lot in my lifetime.
He played on the team the city that I grew up in. He was on the team.
Edmonton.
Left the team, went and played in the States a whole bunch. People never gave him up where I grew up.
Yeah.
Statues, all this other stuff. I hate hockey. I don't even.
Yeah, but I love Canadian pride.
Okay.
I'm for it.
Okay, I feel you.
I like Canada a lot.
Yeah.
But there's something they hold on to what they got.
We don't got a lot.
And so
Well, we do have a lot.
yeah.
Big, beautiful mountains.
Yeah.
Fresh, clean air. Gorgeous, clear water.
Tim.
The Queen is still on our money.
No.
Tim Horton.
TH.
We do have TH. You're true. That's
Never get
true.
done with him.
True. Yeah. No, yeah, I love Canada. I
Yeah.
haven't been back in a while. Wish I could go.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Best place.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Just so cute.
Thank you. Yeah. I love music. I love music. I love stories. I told his story. I made his story.
Yeah.
Don't let that go over your head, Mac.
No. I do admire your love for, there's things where I'm kind of like, I never paid attention to that. And then you'll go, well, but this is why. And you should. And I go, okay.
Oh.
Okay. You've got an open mind, an open heart.
I try to.
Yeah. An interest, a thirst that must be quenched
Yeah.
by the waters of art, entertainment, and culture. Take a dip, have a splash.
It's true.
It's true.
I'm out of things to ask, Mac. I'm going to be
I
honest.
mean, that was a great interview. We're good, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
But I like being here with you, so
Yeah. Hopefully, this is the one.
I think it'll be the one.
Hopefully. What if it's not?
It's the one. It has to be the one.
It has to be the one.
And now you're going to perform for us?
Oh. Didn't know you last time. Know you this time, pal.
Would you do maybe you doing the instrumental and then I could perform it?
You want to sing one of my songs?
Could I?
Which one?
You could pick one.
But you need to know the lyrics to one.
I know them all.
Really? Do you know Together?
Together.
You know the verses?
Once upon a time.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Me and you looking fine. One long to be. Okay. Whoa, holy shit. Together. It's been late and life's been great. I'm so happy that we can be together. And sometimes I think about the things you said, yelled and went to bed together. And here it comes, the only one. My time is done, no longer together. Sit back and just relax. There's more to see together. 1, 2, 3. Together.
And again. Second verse.
Sometimes I think, sometimes I drink, sometimes the kitchen sink. Just relax, it'll all be fine. Life takes time together. Bow, 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 bow.
Bow, bow.
Together.
Together.
We had our fun. Interview done.
Hey!
The time of the song has sprung.
Yes!
Together. And this is where I butcher the chorus, and I don't mean to. I love
1, 2,
the song.
3. Double chorus.
Come on, I see. Come on. Together. Don't be shy now.
I'll do this one with you. Together. And then the big finish. More, 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 more.
Can we do another one?
What else you got? What else you want?
You pick it.
Fuck. You know, what do I got?
I just don't know the second verse. Hope you had your thrill. All those days are over now. Is that it?
Perfect.
Okay.
Next line.
Move on the twilight.
Yeah.
Settle down and let your head down.
Yeah, it works for me.
I'll take it. Okay.
That's great.
All right.
Now here's the chorus.
My child, little doggy.
Yeah. And again.
My child, little one. Virginia, pour me in a glass, vintage old rum. And the ladies go, march on, little doggy. Grandpa goes, march on, little one. March on, little doggy. March on, little one. And then can we do dreams from yesterday too?
Ready, Kerwin?
Yeah.
This is your big shot.
Okay.
This decides whether or not you get signed to Mac's record label. We're talking about a $500 advance.
Fuck.
Yeah. Wait, I've forgotten already. Okay, got it. Here we go.
Once your dream comes knocking at your door, it's time to realize what? It's time to realize. Oh, that's where I was supposed to say it. You aren't dreaming anymore. And once your life is set to settle down, what do, Mac? Take a look around you. No more dreaming to be found. So why then are you crying? It was you who denied them. And no amount of tears will roll back all the years.
Okay, here we go.
Bring back all your dreams from yesterday. Once a life seems to have it set up. Grab binoculars, a closer look reveals just how empty you can feel.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's true. And once a dream is finally put to bed, rest up, sleepy head. You might as well be dead. So why then are you crying? It was you who denied them. And no amount of tears will roll back all the years. Bring back all those dreams from yesterday. Did I do a better job than Logic or a worse job than Logic?
You never sang that song.
Huh? Mac, thank you so much for being on my show. You are a fucking icon. I love you, buddy.
I love you too. Thank you for having me on your show 3 times.
Yeah.